to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. I am your host, as always, Matt Brannon, and I am here today on a lovely Monday to bring you some of the latest professional wrestling storylines, feuds, matches, and all the other cool shit that professional wrestling has to offer. Where do we begin, right? We know we're going to get to Raw tonight. I'm also going to preview NXT a little bit because, we don't do Tuesday shows. We'll be back on Wednesday. So we're going to get to some Raw stuff. We're going to get to some NXT stuff. I have some local CSRA stuff to talk about. And then we are going to move forward, right? So before we get to anything more present time, we still got to talk about the Rumble. Right? Because the Rumble, Saturday night, I'm still not quite over it. I haven't quite recovered yet. But there's a few things that I want to address. Number one, okay, I have been very active on the dirt sheets. I have been reading, I have been listening, I have been picking up all the wrestling news that I possibly could and still to stay employed. And at the time, I'm going to tell you, shut the fuck up. All right? That's all I know to say. Shut the fuck up. Because, come on. There are so many douchebags out there that are crying over a Jey Uso win in the Royal Rumble. And I'm sorry, but all I need to know is one thing. How many wrestlers, not even just WWE, how many wrestlers, professional wrestlers, have posted, reached out, publicly said in interviews in the last 2 days? How many people have said, yeet? Let me tell you, almost all of them, right? Almost all of them. Anyone that has voiced an opinion from the world of professional wrestling have been nothing but excited about the fact that Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble and main event, Jey Uso gets the main event WrestleMania. I guess I just don't understand the negativity. Hell, I didn't pick him to win. I picked him to be my dark horse because, I'm the smartest man alive. But at the same, you're mad? You're mad about that? Like, this guy's one of the hardest working freaking wrestlers in the world. I read an article earlier today, and I'm not going to say the name of the person that wrote this article because they were following me. Now you go into the freaking followers and you figure it out. It's not Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly's the king. All right. But I will say, I read this and they were like, how can you give a guy with 4 moves a main event at WrestleMania? And all I could think of is how many fucking times has Hulk Hogan main event, right? Really? All right, maybe you're not a Hogan guy either, but I got news for you. Not every fucking wrestler has to be Kenny Omega. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad. I freaking love it. But I like all forms of wrestling, every style, every freaking company. If it's professional wrestling, I'm all about it, and I'm not going to be upset. But here we go again, tribalism taking over. I have seen so many posts on the Facebook machine that are from AEW outlets or AEW fan outlets, and they're just talking shit about Jey. And then I go back, and at the same time, here we are, they're talking shit about Charlotte too. Okay. Maybe you think that Charlotte doesn't deserve hers, right? I get, okay, so the greatest women's professional wrestler of all time doesn't deserve a main event at WrestleMania on her comeback? Like, open your fucking eyes and see the story. It's all I can say. You might not like it. You might not. And it might not even be the most perfect fit for what a story is in your mind. However, you can't argue with the damn result. You just can't. Jey Uso deserves it. Charlotte Flair deserves it, okay? And I don't care. I did get a message about my argument on the tag team match, okay? And I want to talk about that real fast, okay? Because I was very clear. I thought the Royal Rumble was fire from beginning to end. I didn't have much negativity, but I did see the one negative part in the tag match where I didn't think that the Motor City Machine Guns or your winners, DIY, came out looking strong. I thought the Street Profits came out looking dirty, but not necessarily strong. You don't always come across looking strong when you're doing sneak attacks, right? Now, you can. There are ways that you can look like a badass doing that, but I don't think they pulled that off right there. So, the argument that I got was that the tag match wasn't good at all and that it all seemed choreographed, right? For a wrestling purist, I almost understand it. I really do. I almost understand it. But guys, that all tag team wrestling has always been this. Like, tag team wrestling has always been more of a dance, more of a choreographed dance than what it is. And I hate that word when it comes to professional wrestling. Choreographed bullshit. All right, it's an athletic event that's scripted, if that's what you want to say. And if you ever use the damn F word on me, we don't use the F word. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say it. And I ain't talking about, the F word. We don't use the F word. So my point is, to understand tag team wrestling, you understand how you have those pieces, right? Those spots that everybody does, whether it be Motor City Machine Guns and how some of theirs look so fast and it's rapid fire. Machine gun, guys. That's why their moves are incorporated that way. Okay, DIY, same thing. A lot of tandem moves, but more power tandem moves. And again, if you didn't catch the fake tag pull back straight out of the damn Midnight Express and Jim Cornette's book, like, come on. Like, and again, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. But as a tag match, especially knowing that tag matches aren't as much as what maybe they were back in the mid 80s, late 80s, if we're going to give tag wrestling some publicity, like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. But I'm telling you, appreciate the match for what it is. Appreciate. You shouldn't go into a singles match the same way as you go into a tag match as far as how you're watching it. Say, I'm not going to watch a damn hardcore match or a freaking street fight match the same way as I'm going to watch a best 2 out of 3 falls. I think like you have to almost pinpoint how you view, and I know I'm getting so technical and scientific and wrestler dork on all of you, but like, I don't know. I just think like you almost have to alter how you're looking at a specific match unless the storylines are blending. So I don't know. It's just me. I thought the match was fantastic. I thought it was good. And a matter of fact, top to bottom, the Royal Rumble was good. So with that said, though, there is a thing about the Rumble that I want to talk about. All right. And that is a little bit of chaos. It is a little bit of controversy that we have. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but apparently Drew McIntyre pissed off at the world after he gets eliminated and comes back to the back and showed his ass. And again, there's no video of this. You don't know how much there is to it, or at least I haven't seen the video yet. But they said he really showed out. He was very angry. He was very loud, adamant about the situation, which I'll get to the situation. And then they said he stormed out. He left the arena. Now, a lot of the dirt sheets are saying, "How could he leave the arena during the Royal Rumble?" That is not unnormal. Like that's something that happens a lot with professional wrestlers. They show up, they do their thing, they do their match, they leave. That's their fucking job, right? Not everybody, but it does happen. However, it kind of leads credence in this case of what made Drew so upset. Like what was it? Well, guys, I heard about this yesterday that Drew was mad and that there were issues and blah blah blah. Well, there were apparently Drew was really mad. And again, yesterday I heard about this, but I didn't want to talk about it because my whole thought was it's a work. It's a work. We're setting up another storyline. They weren't announcing why Drew was mad. They're just saying Drew stormed off. To me, I immediately thought, all right, this is like a Punk thing. Like how Seth was so mad when Punk showed up to Survivor Series. Same thing with Drew. Showed his ass and threw a little hissy fit. That's what my immediate reaction was. Now, reading into it another day later, turns out that apparently Drew was upset with another talent. Apparently, LA Knight is how this goes. And again, we don't know what truth there is to this, and this is why I don't like to run with dirt sheet stuff, because the WWE will definitely swerve the dirt sheets, aka look what they did with Alexa Bliss Saturday night, right? So I didn't want to jump right into it, but now that you're hearing the LA Knight stuff and you think back on this match, it almost has a little bit to it. Apparently, the issue was that Drew took issue with LA Knight wanting to get all of his spots in, different specials for different situations in the ring. Everybody wants to get their spots in. That's the Royal Rumble, guys. Everybody gets their moment to shine. Okay. If you're going to look at moments, Braun Breaker's moment, right? Jacob Fatu's moment. I don't necessarily remember LA Knight's moment. That was kind of like the flow of it all. But I did rethink and rewatch, and he doesn't. I mean, the only signature thing LA Knight doesn't get in is the top rope jump, and he doesn't always do that very well. So, like, that's one of the things I wish he would change. So I don't know if there's any credence to this or not. I don't know if it means anything, but apparently Drew showed his ass, and I don't know. We'll find out tonight if there's anything more to it, or maybe it was just a work, and we're going to get a Drew LA Knight package. But doesn't that seem weird? Like that seems like kind of out of nowhere to me. I thought we were getting LA Knight Tama Tonga, which to me makes a hell of a lot more sense. Why would Drew go after LA Knight? To me, that feud doesn't make any sense. It has zero sense to make that transpire, to make that grow. I don't know, but here again, we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I am. That's stupid. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. That can't happen. So it makes me think that maybe this was an actual real situation. So the other stuff from the Royal Rumble that I want to talk about really quick is it's going to be interesting to see where all these stories pick up. It's going to be interesting to see the tag match, where that's going to go. It's going to be kind of cool. But I thought that the best thing that the Royal Rumble did was set up all of these different stories. Think about it. Gable and the Luchadors, Penta and Rey. You had Braun Strowman and the Jacob Fatu situation. The intense stare off that didn't happen with Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker. Oh my God, give me that and give it to me now. Okay. It's like there's so many different possibilities, so many different storylines. So tonight should be fun. The other thing is tonight is maybe we'll get more clearance on what's going to happen with the transfer, which I think the transfer portal window thing is over. But we know we have the draft coming up and who's going where. And Drew has actually openly talked about maybe not being on Raw and going to SmackDown. So I don't know. We'll see. And actually, it may give us some idea of where Charlotte is going to go as far as who she's going to challenge with her WrestleMania main event. So, and with no further ado, we got to talk about the Raw tonight, guys, because Raw, that direct show right after the Royal Rumble, is always special. The one thing about usually after a huge pay-per-view, your next Raw, you don't usually know what you're going to get. Are you going to get mostly promo action? You're going to get maybe some matches that can shine where it wasn't ordinarily there, like people that maybe didn't compete in the Rumble. However, a lot of times too, you try to keep that storyline fresh. You try to push that storyline forward. And I have a feeling that that's the direction we're going to go tonight in Raw. I got the card of what they've released for Raw tonight. Not giving away a whole lot, which makes sense coming right off of the Royal Rumble. But here's what we got. CM Punk not scheduled to appear tonight. Does that mean he won't appear? I don't know. I actually am a little surprised by that because, Punk was kind of in limbo after that match. I mean, we don't know the direction. I keep hearing that maybe like triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Seth. I don't know. I don't know if that works yet. It's open. We'll see what happens with it. But Punk not going to be there tonight. Matter of fact, no announcement on Seth either. So we don't know if Seth is going to be there. However, the Queen will be there, and we will all have our chance to bow down to Queen Charlotte, right? I assume that she's going to announce who she's going to take on at Mania tonight. And this is why this is kind of interesting to me. Like, she's coming to Raw. We know who the champion is at Raw. It's Rhea, right? But yet you kind of hear all of these rumors that it's going to be Charlotte versus Tiffy or Charlotte 2.0, right? I don't know. I really don't know. Like the Tiffy Charlotte match makes sense on SmackDown. But here again, there's not a better women's match ever than Charlotte and Rhea when Rhea took the belt from her at WrestleMania. Like, I don't know. I want Charlotte Rhea personally. That's what I want just because they were such amazing dance partners. But I'm not going to be upset either way. Maybe we get an idea. Maybe we don't. All right. But one thing we know we're going to get is we're going to get Jey Uso. Yeet. All right. And Jey will probably solidify the route he's going here. He's already pretty much made it clear that it's going to be Gunther. I hope they stick with that because the Gunther idea and Jey, I can beat him, Oos. I can beat him. To me, like that promo, that electricity of that promo, bleeding into the Rumble win, now circling back to WrestleMania. Oh my God, that's storytelling, right? That's perfect. It's a freaking Hollywood script. So we know we're going to get some Jey tonight, not sure what. And we also tonight could get an idea of who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Both general managers, Adam Pearce, my man, and Nick Aldis, he's Adam Pearce with an English accent and hair, R-Truth. They both have basically come out and said they're going to announce the entrance. However, they haven't announced anything on social media. And honestly, I haven't got on in a couple hours, so I'm not really sure the direction that that's going to go. But hopefully, we get some chamber participants on that. Because I'll be honest, we need to see what direction the chamber is going early. I don't think they need to have, like, we're going to get these qualifying matches. We know how the chamber works, right? The qualifying matches, somebody gets in. Usually, there's a good mix, some different type of mix of people. I think back a couple of years ago, Montez Ford in the Elimination Chamber put on a damn show. Actually, I thought he was going to be a single star after that, and here we are. But I thought overall, like, we need a little bit more of a push to see what direction we're going to get. Hopefully, we get some of those matches tonight. I mean, hell, we got a month, all right? A little less, like what, maybe literally a month until Chambers. Like, some of this stuff is going to have to get sorted out, not just on the men's side, but also on the women's side. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see who all is going to fall into this match. We know one for sure, right? Cena definitely has projected himself into this match. By the way, I know I mentioned this yesterday. That is the best damn promo he's done in forever. And I want to tell you, I've thought about it. I've rewatched it. I've read it. That was a freaking heel promo, right? That was so heelish. Now, does that mean John Cena is going to be a heel? No, it doesn't. And I don't think they will. I don't. But that promo was heelish. All right. He's coming out saying what's best for business is him. I got news for you. That's like a freaking Flair line. All he needed to do was woo after it, and it would have been perfect. So, with that said, I'm going to make a commitment. And everybody knows that I am not a Cena guy, right? I am a Cena sucks guy. I always have been. I'm not a Cena guy. I respect him. If you want to put him on your Mount Rushmore, that's on you. It ain't on me. But at the same time, I've always respected him. I just don't. I'm Cena sucks. I'm Cena sucks till the day I die. However, if Cena goes heel, I'm buying a shirt the next day. I called it. Cena goes heel. A Cena sucks guy, will buy a shirt the next day. All right, and I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy, and my son will be so mad. It'll be such a wonderful day at the Brandon. So there you go. So we know we got Cena. Hopefully tonight we'll get more of an idea of who else we're going to get interacting. All right. You guys know I don't do a Tuesday show, so I won't preview NXT. I'm going to talk a little bit about it here. Like I said, not exactly a full card on NXT. We know we're going to get a big tag match. And I'll recap all of this, guys. I'll recap Raw, NXT, and do AEW Dynamite preview on Wednesday. Okay, so we'll go back to our normal. I say go back to. This has kind of been 2 weeks in a row now that we've done this normal string of shows, and that's how I'm going to stick doing it. Right, for now. But for NXT, we know we got a big tag match. Trick Williams and Oba, champion Oba Femi. By the way, kind of thought both of those guys would be in the Rumble, right? It's kind of odd. I actually thought like Oba would really maybe make an impact on the Rumble, but regardless, we didn't get it. So we are going to get Trick, we are going to get Oba, and they are going to take on A-Town Down Under. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long day. A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This match probably won't have a clean finish. This match probably may not even make it to the finish. Trick and Oba are going to get into it. This new hardcore badass Trick Williams is kind of fun. Yeah, so I mean, I could be could be a fun match. I don't know where they'll go with it. I assume they're setting up Trick to be involved in that main event as well at Vengeance, where Oba is going to be taking on Theory and Waller. Slide Trick in, it becomes a fatal 4-way, and now Oba has an even harder time retaining. So I don't know. We'll see what develops with that. What else do we have on par for tonight? We got JC Jane. She's going to be taking on my girl, Stephanie Vaquer. By the way, Stephanie Vaquer was amazing in the Women's Royal Rumble. I thought one of the biggest bright spots in that match. And tonight, we're going to see her go against JC. JC's one of the better workers in NXT, so it could be fun. I'm not sure I like the faction that we're all dealing with here. And I assume we're going to get JC and her crew taking Stephanie out at some point. So the other things we have, man, I have yawning, but is what I have. Apparently what I have is a need for a nap. I don't nap. But anyway, what else do we have? We're going to have what they're calling a Vengeance Day Summit. Bailey is going to meet up with Julia and Roxanne. I assume this will be one of Roxanne's last NXT appearances. We know she's coming to the main roster. It's all over the place, whether it be Raw, whether it be SmackDown. We might find out tonight, right? We might find out tonight. So we're going to have a Vengeance Day Summit meeting. I guess Bailey will run that, which I'm good with that. That kind of makes sense. And then what else do we have? Oh, Stax Lorenzo. Channing Stax Lorenzo is going to take on Ridge Holland, and I cannot wait for this match. I mentioned it's been a couple weeks ago how I really am a fan of Stax Lorenzo. I think he does really good work. I like his character development. Super athletic, and actually his size is a lot bigger than what he maybe gets credit for because he kind of high flies a lot. So I'm super excited to see Steve Stacks versus Ridge in that match. So we shall see the development. That's the card we have so far with NXT. I'm sure there's going to be more. The main thing I'm asking for is give me some more Javon Evans and Ethan Page. All right, that's what I'm asking for. It's not on the card yet, but give me in any way you can do it, whether it be promo, whether it be a meeting backstage brawl, whatever. I need more Javon Evans and Ethan Page. So there we have it. Huge couple nights of wrestling, right? And we got a lot more coming. Remember, Dynamite on Wednesday. I will preview that. Now, with that said, I mentioned earlier that I want to talk a little bit about some local stuff, right? You guys know I'm a huge independent wrestling fan. I love being able to go and help. I love being able to just be there and be a part of it. And it's so much fun. No matter, I don't care if I'm in a room of damn 4 other people like this podcast, or if I'm in a room of friggin' 10,000 in Atlanta's arena. It's still wonderful because it's still professional wrestling. And I want to say this Saturday night, February 8th, huge show here in Augusta, Georgia. Okay, I've mentioned these guys. You've seen me posting their stuff on my Facebook machine. Viral Pro Wrestling. VPW. If you're not familiar with Viral Pro Wrestling, you should be. Again, it's one of the better local indies that you're going to even see in the Southeast. Not just to mention the CSRA, and we are so blessed here in the CSRA, where I'm at in Augusta, Georgia, to be able to have so much really solid independent wrestling. And you are going to get some very good stuff on Friday night. It is at the Warren Community Center off Warren Road. If you're familiar with the area, off of Washington Road. I have been posting a lot of the information on there. Get on, buy your tickets, guys. Buy your tickets. It's going to be a great show. We are going to see their champion, the champion Drew Hood, and he's going to be defending against AEW's Preston Vance, 11. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think Preston Vance knows what he's getting into. I really don't. I don't think he knows what he's getting into. Drew Hood for days, baby. We're also going to get some good tag action. And we got some guys coming from the NWA, the Kazanas. I know that we have Erica Demia, the VPW Women's Champion, is going to be in action. Lots of good stuff. John Schuyler versus Slim J. If you don't know John Schuyler, figure out who John Schuyler is. TNA Wrestling and one of the greatest workers in the world, right? He might not be for everybody, and he don't give a damn. Okay, the Southern Saint. He's taking on Slim J. They actually had a match the last local event they had at VPW. I'm pretty sure Skylar kicked his ass that night. I'm pretty sure he'll kick his ass again. So there you go. Huge show. That's Saturday night. Viral Pro Wrestling, Warren Community Center off Warren Road in Augusta. I think doors maybe open at 6. Bell is at 7. I'm going to get more information on this as we go. I got some stuff in the works. I am going to do a couple lives from there as well. If you come see me and you say Slow Burn and you give me like wrestling podcast, I got some free bracelets. Slow Burn Wrestling Podcast bracelets that we're going to give away. Just stupid shit, and try to get the word out there. So we will be at VPW. That's Saturday, February 8th. Huge card. It's going to be a great night, and can't wait for it. All right. The other thing is also, I'm not going to pub this over VPW, but there is a hell of an event happening in a city that's about 2.5 hours away from here. MLW is putting on a show at Center Stage, and honestly, if VPW wasn't happening that night, I would be at MLW. I can promise you that. So any of my people up a little further north and they want to check that out, do it. But I think out of the 4 of you, most of you are here. So got that in Atlanta. Again, though, VPW, guys, get out there. They do do meet and greets. The wrestlers have a lot of merch, good concessions. It's a super family friendly, fun place to be. And honestly, you can go to some pretty interesting places to watch independent wrestling. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? There are some, let's just call it what it is. You can go to some pretty sketch, interesting places, right? There's not a better venue for independent wrestling to me than where you're going to see VPW at. All right, it's perfect, great bleachers, a great floor seats, not a bad seat in the house, and again, you get to come out and spend some time with some really, really awesome guys and gals that do a freaking phenomenal job. And before I end, I hope that you guys all come out. Like I said, give me a shout out. Come see me. Speaking of which, get on the Facebook machine, like me, follow me, share, do what you can. YouTube, get on the YouTube channel, subscribe to us, spread the word, guys. I joke around the fact that I'm doing this for 4 or 5 people. Thanks, Mom. But at the same time, like, I'd like to get a little bigger. Let people know. If you know somebody that watches wrestling, holler at them, because I will tell you, holler at them. I will tell you that, like, we're working on a few things. I got some interview stuff that we're working on. I got a lot of information out there right now. Okay, so and hopefully we get some more stuff going on the local front. I know I have something set up. A little surprise for later on this week too. I hope it comes to. I don't want to say too much, because if it doesn't happen, like, it's going to be heartbreaking. Last week I had something that was going to be really freaking awesome prior to Royal Rumble, and it ended up falling through at the last minute. Guys, I'm small time, but I'm trying. All right. We're going to get there, and just to be a part of this world is so much fun. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying it, and even more so, I hope that tonight you enjoy Monday Night Raw. Watch it, love it, say that Matt Brandon's a douchebag and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to pro wrestling. You would be wrong, but that would be okay too, because you probably already are. So anyways, guys, huge week. You know what? Actually, it's not. I heard earlier, I read a thing that says, it's a slow week in wrestling. I say, nah. It's only slow if you want it to be slow, right? Triller TV, man, watch wrestling all day long, okay? But for us, we will be back on Wednesday. I will recap Raw. I will recap NXT, and I'm going to preview AEW Dynamite. We got a big, big week of wrestling coming up. Don't forget TNA coming up on Thursday. We got Friday Night SmackDown, and kind of a slow television pay-per-view PLE weekend this weekend. So come on out to Viral Pro Wrestling, you knobs. You don't have anything better to do. Come watch freaking Drew Hood put it to Preston Vance. That's what I got to see. Come watch Eric Academia dominate. That's what I got to say. So come on out, see the show, but more than that, listen to the slow burn, guys. Listen to the slow burn. And that's where you're at. And in this life, guys, we're wrestling everything. So stay on top. Stay tuned.